Cybersecurity is one of the great issues of our time. As businesses have become more and more dependent on their computing systems and their data communication systems, so the opportunities for thieves have increased. As geographic boundaries have become less and less in the computer world, so it has become more and more possible and more easy for people to move across those boundaries. And the risk reward for cyber theft has got better and better. The old days of taking a shotgun into a bank have gone. It's far easier to do it on a computer. At the same time, the attack surface has got greater. There are more devices in the world than there used to be, and the rate at which they are increasing is itself increasing. On some estimates, by 2020, there will be 4 billion users online, 4 billion, and there will be 40 billion applications running. That's an immense amount. At the same time, the complexity and the interconnectedness of them is increasing. The Internet of Things means that devices are all connected together, and the Internet of Things means it's far easier for a thief to find an entry point at one place and then hop from another to another and another, and it becomes more and more difficult to protect against it. At the same time, organisations are getting better at protecting themselves. People understand these days that software has to be updated and upgraded all the time. They understand the need for firewalls and for antivirus, and most organisations and indeed most individuals do that these days. At the same time, there are always vulnerabilities, and there will always be vulnerabilities because software is written by real people, not by machines, and people write in modules. Where the modules interface together, there are always little tiny differences and vulnerabilities. The thief is looking for those vulnerabilities, and if he can find them, he can find a way in. Having said that, most electronic cyber security attacks these days are automated, and most defence is automated. Probably 99% of all attacks fail, but that still leaves 1% of a very large number of attacks which don't fail and get through. And something has to be done about those. Thieves look to the next biggest source of weakness, and that's people. People are all different. Some people are clever, some people are not clever. Some people are conscientious, other people are not conscientious. Some people are lazy, some people work hard. All those differences provide opportunities for thieves. Managements don't help. When targets are set for management, they're set around things like sales figures, production figures, debt collection. Very rarely does a manager get set a target for cybersecurity. The result is that managers regard cybersecurity as a nuisance. It's something they have to do, they wish they didn't, but they do it, and they put as little effort into it as they practically can so that they can get on with doing something which is of more use to them. People themselves, when they're outside, deal in a different way to the way in which they deal with things inside an organisation. And a competent researcher can find a person in an organisation, can go through and research all about that person, find all their colleagues on a networking site like LinkedIn, and build a very detailed profile of that person without doing anything which is illegal. Indeed, there are researchers who do nothing but that. They go out and they research potential vulnerable people who can be stolen from using the web, or organisations that have people who are vulnerable in that way, and they sell those profiles on the dark web for thieves. The researchers are doing nothing illegal, but they do make it possible for the thieves to do it. So how should organisations approach all these issues relating to people? Well, the first thing to do is to recognise that people are people. They're not machines, and they don't behave like machines. People don't listen when they're told to do things. When they do listen, they don't understand it, even if they do say they understand it. And sometimes they may listen, they may understand it, but just decide not to do it anyway. So the requirement in all of this is not to write procedures, it's to persuade. It's to gently nudge and to build relationships, and to get people to do things because they want to do them. Most cybersecurity rests within the IT department in an organisation. The IT department tends to be full of people who are very good at analysing the problem and writing a procedure to solve the problem. People in IT departments tend not to be good at nudging, persuading, relationship building, gently moving the organisation along into a slightly different frame of mind. Mandating doesn't work, but that's the way that nearly all organisations handle their cybersecurity. They write a procedure, then mandate that everybody should do it. It's very difficult to build a beneficial interaction between the IT department and the operating departments in an organisation. It's very difficult to build a culture of awareness, but it's the thing that has to be done. The end result, the objective, is to get the organisation to employ everyday practices that everybody uses without resentment and without thinking. It's easy to say, it's very hard to do, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of work. I'm Roger Keenan. I'm Managing Director of City Lifeline, a central London data centre. I hope that's been of interest to you. If there's any observations that you'd like to make, or any comments, or any questions, there's a comment box below. Thank you.